Good morning. It is Tuesday, and the project I'm going to start today is reinforcing this this end here. So this is a tire pillar, and it's only stuck into the ground by T-posts within the tire. So I've put T-posts outside of the tire to give it more of an anchor, and together with that, see, there's two there. I don't know if you can see. There's 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to bend this rebar, tie it to the T-posts, and then I'm going to cement it all together to provide a footer, which will reduce the likelihood of the base of this shifting as a result of the forces applied to it, which I think the main factor causing any kind of movement is just the frost heaves. So the second step after this will be keeping the water away from the base so that in the winter time the wetness doesn't lead to the frost heaves. But this is the first step, and I just wanted to get a little shot of it now. So here's what I got for a form. I got that piece of rebar bent. It didn't quite reach the last post, but that's okay. So it connects all these other posts. And then just got a few boards. Put some gravel in there and packed it down with the sledgehammer. And I'm ready for concrete. Though I'm getting diverted to another task now, so I'll have to wait for just a couple hours before I pour the concrete. So I went through all the cement that I had, which was I think like 6.5, 7 bags. And it didn't fill up the whole form, but it got coverage of the rebar and most of the T-posts. And that's good. If the form was all the way full, it probably wouldn't hold, honestly, with just wood leaning against it. So the rest of it I can just do with stone and mortar to end up making it flat. But this will all be nice and solid, connecting all of the structural metal pieces. And so I'll just leave this for a while before I come back to it. I found a little bit of remesh here, a little scrap. That's what these 2 logs are doing, is just holding that piece of remesh down to give a little bit of metal connection between the last 2 posts. But yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. I only even had that cement because the delivery, I called for a delivery of mortar and they accidentally delivered cement at first instead of mortar. So I kept 8 bags, and so I used some for that one part of the gate that I just built in the last video last week, and all the rest went in here. And I'm really happy with this. I was kind of fretting about this, the way that the weight is distributed. You can see the cracks on the floor in here. This was all aircrete on the ground with a little bit of mortar over it with no metal reinforcement. So there's a little bit of cracks on the slab here, which reveal the way that the ground was kind of moving. And then so adding that is really going to reinforce the bottom, and then I can reinforce the slab. And then by keeping water out of the ground up there as well as around the sides, it should resolve the frost heaving and secure everything before the next winter. And that's all for this project for now, and I'll get back to the gate. Good morning. It's Wednesday morning. Giving you a side look at step number 2 over here, where I basically did the same method, put the cinder blocks on top of the first step, and then layered the stone with layers of mortar. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a top layer of mortar, so it keeps all that in place. So I'll just smear mortar over that. What do you think, Caddy? I want attention. And then over here, got a first coat on the mortar of all the holes around the windows. So gonna work on the other side of that today, and then work on those spires up there. And that's all for now. Alright, so it's Thursday morning, and I'm about to embark on a mega project, mega multi-stage drainage irrigation project. So essentially underneath this pallet there's a hole, and going into that hole is a drain pipe which drains from many different sources going that way. And so I need to move all this stuff and dig a trench and get the drainage going out through here, and then out through here, and then eventually around the hill, and I think around the gate or something. But to start, at the very least, to get it from underneath there to over here. So it's going to take a lot of moving, a lot of digging. But this is the start of a multi-stage project. This is stage 1, so we're just gonna get started. So the first step was getting into there. So you can see this is another one of those like 375 gallon or 300 gallon, no, not 375, 275 or 300 gallon or maybe 250 gallon totes, those cube things. Like I cut one in half in a previous video. So that whole thing is buried here, and the reservoir there is actually just like collapsed in on itself. And then this post here, you can see there's like a form for this post, but this post is cemented in there. So the rest of this hole I'm going to fill with stone, and this will be a drainage basin. And then over here, if you can see that, there is the drain pipe. So I've uncovered that, accessed that, and once I fill in the drainage basin, I can connect the drain pipe to the other pipes, and then start digging the irrigation channel after I fill in most of that hole with stone. So a couple 100 gallons of stone transported in 5-gallon buckets later, and this hole is basically filled. And now we'll see about connecting to this drain pipe, which will go straight, and then some kind of angle, and then it'll go under that wagon, that general direction. But first we're going to have a break for lunch, and then at some point we'll need some materials as well, but can make some more progress before that. It was a pretty heavy downpour, and we get the first look at how this drainage project is working. And it's definitely pooling. It's not really finding its way into the drain so well, it looks like. Well, it's doing a lot better on the other side. But you can see how much is coming out of there. So there's the water coming off of there. And then there's all of this and that coming off of there. And now it's flowing over the surface out of there. Anyway, sometimes the thunderstorms can get pretty intense, and this is a pretty solid downpour. But just to show how much water can come and how important this drainage project is. So the storm just passed, and here's how this is doing. It's pooling here, and then the cement kind of divides it here, keeps it away from the tires. And then over here, I gotta add some dirt on the left there to keep it away from the tires. Stay there, bub. But it is pooling all the way over to here, where the mortar gets a little taller. And then draining out here or the gate. So I think I want to raise that up a little bit and add stone and mortar to keep it from going out the gate. And then try to get it to go out here. But the drain isn't working as good as I had hoped. And putting the mortar over the gravel is definitely impeding the drainage. So, yep, there's a status report. So it's just about the end of the day on Thursday, and trenched this pretty much all out, and the dirt from the trench went into these 4 tires here. So working on closing off this archway and leaving space obviously for the trench. And it seems like it's basically good enough slope to go from this point to go out there. I might have to do a little bit more tomorrow, but I basically just need a PVC part. It was a good thing I bought this and one other one when I did months ago, because now I guess they're sold out of it. So yeah, I basically just need one angle piece here, and then I can bury both of them and backfill with gravel. And then step 1, the hardest step of this whole drainage project, will be just about complete. So it'll just require a bunch more moving of stone, and then at some point I'll reinforce this rock wall that's just barely hanging in there, and spend a day or so in here. So here's a quick look at stair number 3 before it gets its first coat of mortar. The first 2 stairs are a little bit bigger steps than the 3rd stair, and the idea is that you have, like, if you're gonna have 2 big steps, or like I don't know, as soon as you get to 3, it's more exhausting taking big steps, but you can take like 1-2 big steps and you've just done a good flex on either leg, and you don't have to do like extension to extension to go to a 3rd. So the 3rd step gets lesser, and the 4th step will also be lesser in height. But I will do a 4th step. But first, I'm just going to add another coat to the first 3, and a single coat to the side of that. I had done some up top too, but then the rainstorm came, so it's really sandy. So, so working the mortar to the sand, and I'll just take a shot after I'm done. So here they look with the coat of mortar on them. Kind of hard to tell with the lighting, but so I think it's upside down. I did have to do some more trenching, but it is now the pipe is all laid, and it is time to backfill it with gravel now. And I'll just get you the other view. So the water should all get, or at least primarily, I'll get at least 6-8 feet beyond the building. And it's got plenty of room to go that way. And it's all got decent slope. So, gonna start backfilling now. Alright, so after a good bit of stone moving, I'll have a sore back tomorrow. But the drainage is all in. And now this area is, this building will be much better off through the winter. Only leaks from the pipes will end up in that big drain there. And hopefully it won't leak too much, but if it does, it's not a problem. And if it doesn't leak, it all goes out down to here is the end piece of the drain pipe, and at some point I might extend that with another black pipe to go around the edge and move the water elsewhere. But for now, this will be a big benefit for this structure. So I'm thinking I'm going to take a break. Then I'm thinking I'm probably going to put some mortar on this back wall. And then once I do that, I can perhaps start stacking this wood into this back corner. Which I think with just the gravel down, it doesn't need a pallet. But I was also thinking of insulating underneath this pallet and putting that pallet down as kind of an insulated layer so that the pipe is less likely to freeze in the winter, but I don't know about that yet. But anyways, this is done for now. This is a big moment. It's like the turning over of the guard. I've been asking myself, at what point do I exchange the old for the new? They are the exact same model. I think it was 2 years ago. I bought 3 pairs of the same shoes because I could at the time, and I was investing in the future and hedging for inflation. And this is the 3rd pair of these shoes. I've gone through 2 pair already. And now I've got brand new shoes, which I didn't have to buy because I already paid for them. Well, I didn't have to buy now, but you get what I'm saying. And it's like turning over the guard to the new guard. These shoes, as you can see, they could no longer guard my feet effectively. They were letting the rocks through, and the dirt and the soles and everything was just not doing the job anymore. So on to the new ones. So after a bit of mortar in here, this rock wall got seriously reinforced, connected on both sides, above, and all the way down to the stone underneath, which we'll be able to get even more reinforcement later on. But now I can move on to the stairs. So it's the end of the day, Saturday, and got some mortar on the top stair, and then extended the cement out a ways. And how many boots? And so at some point I'm thinking I'm going to cap these tires with mortar and then kind of shape them and cover all the tires going down. So all of this will be covered in mortar, and will shed water to either that side of the tree or over here. But yeah, there's those 4 stairs. They'll have to get cleaned up at some point, but they're working pretty good for now. So it's Sunday morning, and I'm giving you a before shot of stage 2 of this drainage project. So we're in the original earthship structure that I built the very first year, and slept and lived in here through the first winter. And you can see the pipe there coming out from that planter cell goes through to the outside. I'll show you where it comes out later on. But essentially that pipe goes into this plastic lined gutter planter cell, which acts like a pipe to get the water over to this here. So the plastic is just kind of secured to that pipe. So the goal in here is to take all of these boxes out, some of which will go into the gate tower, and move all this stuff, and then take that whole plastic liner gutter thing out, and then just directly connect that PVC there to this PVC here, and get that well bonded well, and clean out the front face of this, because at some point in here it's going to be a bathroom, but there's a long ways to go for that, and that's not the primary purpose right now. But so this is just a before the stage 2, so I'm going to clean all this out and then get the work on getting that PVC connected. So I'm currently disassembling this. You can see how it was a planter cell on the front face of this original Earthship structure. I've got most of the boxes all separated and the wood piece on top off. Just got to separate that last box out. Then you can see that PVC piece, which is extending to right here, which once I get all this out of the way, I can start working on the PVC. So once this is all cleared out, we've got PVC there, and then this kind of PVC contraption here, which I'll have to cut somewhere, most likely right around there, because it's not really the right size piece for that. And then I'll get that piped over to here somehow. Yeah. Oh, and so for reference, this drain pipe here is what is draining out to where that last video is showing that exit by that pit of stone. So this is the top end of the drain. So once I connect this to that, then the drain pipe I'll end up showing you on the outside by the water feature. That's where this pipe that goes through that planter cell there extends to. So I got some more PVC pieces. Made this connection, and I'm almost connected all the way, but I want to tie in this tub, which I've had for like 8 years now, and it's just been kind of used as a bench, and this table here is leaning on it. So I'm moving all sorts of stuff around. I'm going to pull this tub out, and then I'm going to mount it up there above the piping, and then figure out exactly how the tub can get connected into the drain pipe, so that the tub, so I don't have to redo that plumbing essentially. But it makes this project much more complex, but it'll be cool to get this tub accessible. This tub is fucking heavy, but I got all the stuff cleared out of this so I could lift it up enough to get these legs off of the tub. And now I'm just gonna get some cinder blocks and try to just lodge the tub up in that corner just to get it to stay in place. And then later on, the idea is I can reinforce it, but to get it up there, to get it out of the way, and to get the drain aligned with the pipe underneath is the goal now. Side note, this tree, which grows all the way sideways and down into that planter cell, it's an avocado tree. So I pruned it so that these branches aren't sticking out right in the way. but it's still growing right out into this greenhouse area and doing really well. So the avocado is doing good, and then that's a lemon tree over in the other corner. I didn't really prune that too much, but you have like a tree right over you when this tub is complete. It'll be very natural. Alright, so this is where I'm at. I figured out the piping. I didn't have the right angle, but I used 2 other angles to get it done. And got a T in over there, which will be for that end for a drain. And now I'm going to try to use these 4 cinder blocks and basically manhandle this thing into place. I would get a shot of it, but you'll just have to see how it turns out. I ripped my shirt. Did I catch that? No, I didn't catch it. I could tip the thing over. Down here. And now I can just lift that up and block that side. That was the hardest task. So I'll have to do some adjusting, but I got it into place. Minus ripped shirt, but otherwise it's pretty much all good. These are my 3 boxes of nickels. $300, never weighed so much. So yeah, I can just adjust the blocks, and that gives a good idea how high the tub will be. So it's nice, kind of nice and high. Could lower it if necessary, but it's pretty convenient to just put it at the height of the cinder blocks. So anyways, this drain project is basically now complete. I'm not going to hook up the tub right now. I'm just going to get it solidified into place. And now I can move on to the next section of drain pipe for stage 3. Okay, so for reference, that pipe there is what is coming through from the earthship structure. And this area here, where I was just standing, this is going to be a water feature. You can see there's some water down there now, because it just rained a lot, but I'm going to put a liner in here, and this is going to be a big old water feature. And so this pipe here, I'm gonna get it to run into the gate tower there. There's a little hole that you can see the other lines are running through. And then get both the drain. So here's the sink. I got a little sink kit. Had to customize it a little bit. But we basically got drainage from the sink from there. And then I'm just going to get that connected to some 1-inch PVC. And then run that under here. And then there's a hole there. And then over to the hole there, which is right by the other one. So 1-inch PVC drain, and then I'm going to run in some PEX tubing for the pressure water to get to the sink. So that's what I'm on now. It's Monday evening, and I got really close to getting the plumbing ready, but I ended up fucking it all up, basically. And even now my plumbing in the main living space isn't working, because they're connected off the same pressure tank, and Anyways, I got really close to getting it done, but one piece was pretty much the wrong piece. So that's the end of this week's report, and hopefully I'll get that plumbing done tomorrow. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.